Well, you guys got me. The first thing on a Monday morning after my anniversary weekend, talking about Forza Motorsport. I knew I was going to have fun with this game going into it. If you haven't watched my first impressions video and the couple of streams I did when it first launched last week, go ahead and dive into those. But I have played this quite a bit since then. This has actually been the one game I've been playing every single day outside of my, like, even on my anniversary weekend. Chris was doing like yard work one morning and I had like 2 hours. She was like, just let me do laundry and then we'll watch the next movie. So I was like, okay, cool. And I came in and jumped on and played this for 2 hours. It's a really fun game. Even if you're not normally a racing aficionado or you're not very good at racing games, please don't let this game go under your radar. If you like racing games, but you've never been good at racing games, don't let it stop you, because there's some amazing accessibility options in this game which help everyone feel like a winner. And there's nothing wrong with that when you're playing video games. Like, it's really cool. And then if you want the challenge, there's the challenge if you want the challenge. And, you know, it obviously supports, you know, steering wheel setups. This has been the first game I've played where I really felt like, oh, I'd like to have a steering wheel setup. Like, I really enjoyed Gran Turismo, the last one, but I sucked at the multiplayer component because I didn't have a steering wheel setup, and you really need it for that game. This game, they've done enough amazing things with the accessibility options that you can fine-tune your controller to feel very, very good and very, very reactive. So, yeah, let's talk about Forza Motorsport. This is my official review of the game. I've probably put 50 hours into it so far. Let's go ahead and hop in here. Take a look at my cars. These are the ones I've earned so far through races. Just a lot of really cool, fun vehicles to drive. Let's take a look at all of these. By the way, my favorite so far is I just finished up a series with this Audi RS7 Sportback. That is by far the best controlling vehicle I've played so far. Really a lot of fun. I believe the race I'm doing right now is using this one, the 2020 Ferrari Roma. No, that's not it. Hang on. Where's the Jaguar? Or maybe it is this one. I don't remember. I'd have to go check the race that I'm doing right now. But this is the rally. I've used this for some races. This one was a lot of fun working up the 2011 Lotus Evora. I haven't driven my Porsche yet, even though I have it. I believe the very first car I started off with was the Volkswagen. And then I did a race that had me with the Subaru, and then I went from there to the Lotus, and then I did some online multiplayer stuff which uses the Honda, and then I think maybe I'm doing the Ferrari right now. I could have sworn I bought a Jaguar. That's not a Jaguar, though. Who knows? It's all good. All right, let's talk about how much fun this game is. It's a lot of fun. Like, I have yet to be disappointed in the gameplay. Let's talk, though, about one of the things that really made me want to do a deeper dive into this game was there's just depending on how you want to play. There's the career mode, and one of the things that I remember from the first game is that ability to go in and like tweak every aspect of your car and, you know, level up through these different tiers. Some of that is here. It's not entirely the way I remember it, but obviously there's been a lot of innovations over the years, and I haven't played this series in quite some time. But I remember the first iteration, and it's similar here. The way you start off is you have these tours. So you start off with a modern tour, and basically a lot of these are locked. So like if you're done the enthusiast, it says MX5 challenge as an example. Unlock, you have to finish track specials. So you have to finish this whole tier of races, and each tier of races has like 4 or 5, could be 6 different stages. So you're going to be racing at least 4 to 6 races with pretty much every single thing you do. There's going to be multiple laps for each of the races you do, plus the practice laps and everything else. And you need different cars for each type. So you go into like super sedans, which is the one I'm working on right now. Or excuse me, I'm working on premium performance right now. And then I'll be able to do the reward showcase. But let's go down here to one of the ones I haven't done, like I haven't done track specials yet. So one of the things to do is when you start off an event, you're going to get a short description video of it, which is great. I'm going to show you guys this just while we're watching
In the
it.
80s and 90s, Technically advanced touring car homologation specials were sold in limited numbers, delivering maximum speed, handling, and feedback to the enthusiast behind the wheel in a purposeful, minimalist interior. Prized motorsports unicorns, hunted by collectors for the intense driving experience only this rare breed provides. They now stand ready for our racers to rebuild and hit an extreme level of performance, chasing that checkered flag.
So every time you start a new tour, you're going to get some sort of an animation sequence like that, which explains the race itself, what the cars are, and then it's going to give you a variety of cars to choose from. And I've played F1, I've played Gran Turismo. They've done an excellent job here, like Gran Turismo, in providing you with lots and lots of options, and they feel really, really good, and they look really, really good. And they all drive differently. It's really amazing. But let's just say I wanted to go in here and buy a car. The first thing I would do is I would look at see details, which allows me to see, like on the right, you'll see the speed, braking, handling, acceleration. And it's different for every car. And the cool thing is as you level up your cars, it's amazing. I like the way it plays. So not only do you level up as a driver, you also level up your car. So each car that you pick when you go to do the tour, you're going to be leveling that car up through the tour. And as you level up, you're going to unlock different mods that you can install, different parts that you can switch in, new brakes, new tires, new engines, new clutch, new flywheel, all these different things. And you'll be able to modify this car. So if you like the way a car looks, and you think that it's going to have good enough handling and speed and everything else, do you want front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, check out all the options. Once you've picked your car, I'm just going to pick one at random. Let's pick this thing right here because it looks kind of space agey. So then you can go in here and you can look around the car. We can view it, which is just really cool. Also, you can choose to explode it and just open up all the doors and hatches and everything. So you could just look at all of these things. There's the engine. We can come around here. We can look in the interior. By the way, I'm definitely going to be buying this car for this race because it just looks too cool not to drive. Look at that thing. I absolutely want to drive that. Really cool. Then we can go back in. We can go out into photo mode, take a photo. Yeah, let's exit. We can back out of here, go look at other cars, figure out which one we want to buy, and then buy the car and do the tour, right? But let's back out of here because I actually have an active tour open. And this is where I kind of want to talk about a little bit of the fun stuff. I'm working on this one right now, the premium performance one. So this is where I'm racing my Ferrari. For some reason I was thinking Jaguar, but I have a Ferrari for this one. So we're going to continue this. Now let's go in here and look at the performance stuff. So you've got your car here, and you'll notice things that are locked, like you need car level 8 to be able to use the fuel system, and we'll go through here, and all these things have locks at different levels. But there's all these different options, and by the way, the cars go all the way to level 50. That's pretty amazing. The highest I've gotten a car so far, I think, is level 25, and I think that was the previous race I've done, because you start to have to do these longer races, and you're doing enough laps that you're leveling up the car as you go, and so you do end up getting, I think, so far I've been seeing like around level 20 to 25 in all your cars by the time you go through the main series, and I'm assuming there's later series that are coming where you're going to take the car from level 25 up, or you could be leveling that up in free play or something, I don't know. But so far I only have this car at level 5 because I've only done the one race. So up on the top right, you'll notice your available points, car points, CP, and these different things. What do they cost? What do they do to your car? You can look at all these different aspects of how things are going to impact the speed and the handling on the right-hand side. You'll notice they're going in here into like different drivetrains and stuff. I don't have a whole unlock on this car, so we could just look at like the exhaust here. That's going to add that, but I don't have enough car points for it, so I need to play another race to earn car points to spend to upgrade my car, and I have to level up the car to unlock all of these additional options. So it's a very cool progression where you start off with the car is the base, whatever it was that you bought out of the gate, And then once you've purchased a car, you go to do the tour with it. And before each practice session, before each race in the tour, you're going to have this moment to mod your car before you go do the practice run. And once you're happy with everything, you would go in here and go to continue. And it's going to take you to the next race in the series. And you're always going to do a practice run, which is usually 2 to 3 laps. There's a couple of objectives that you got to hit. One is just to complete the race, complete the practice, and then the other one is a bonus objective. And this is where you get into the fun, really, essentially, of this game. Because as cool as it is, I'll shut up for a minute.
Willingly leave the race line, so be prepared to drive offline to overtake.
Okay, so here's where you get into all of these options for the race itself. So there's options for the event. You can look at the driver list, the series, your series standing. But here's where we can get into, okay, I want to tune the car. Now, I never mess with this, but you could totally come in here and tune all of this different stuff. And I would say that this is more for the people who are driving with a steering wheel and really want to fine-tune the control for all the different cars. This is where you can do that. You could also change how much fuel you're carrying and what type of tires you're using, depending on the type of race you're running. This more applies to like multiplayer, which we'll get into later on. But some of these races have things that are locked in and you can't change it. So that's what it is. And then out from here, you can change. Now this is where things get really fun, because you can do all sorts of difficulty stuff. So you can, there's the Drivatar difficulty bonus at the top, which is represented by how difficult do you want the AI to be, starting at 1, and I think it goes all the way up to 10. It goes up to 8. So I had to race multiple races to find out that for me and my driving capabilities, how good I am at driving, which is not very good, combined with the way that I play on the controller, the number 3 setting worked for me. I started at level 1. It was really easy. Now, level 2, still too easy. Level 3, I have found it usually within the last or the penultimate lap, the next to last lap. That's usually when I'm overtaking that last driver to get my first place position. So it's just enough challenge for me to need to work for it, but I still am able to win probably 95% of races. There have been a few races I've gotten second place on. I think one I got third because I was really bad at that particular track. But this is what works for me for the AI. Now, on the bottom here are things like, do you want to deal with collisions? That's all the way over in Expert Rules. Expert Rules, simulated damage is on, tire damage is on, and fuel consumption is on, and there's no rewind ability with full penalties. If you do that, you get a car point bonus. Then there's Sports Rules, which are slightly less. So fuel and tire damage, rewind is on, and there's moderate penalties. And then I play on this mode because I'm a big wussy and I'm just here for fun when I'm playing single player. Keep in mind that these are single player options. Multiplayer, it's all on. So you don't have an option in multiplayer. Multiplayer, you have to play with everything on. So, but for single player, I like to play with club rules, which means it's cosmetic damage only. I can run into stuff, it's no big deal. I can rewind, not a lot of penalties, but as a result, I don't get as many car points to earn for each race. So that's my settings. But then here's where the kicker comes in. And there's a brilliant article out there I'm going to do that I talk about all of these accessibility options, because I read an article talking about why this is really great for people who have legitimate accessibility issues. I don't know how to phrase this without being political, I don't know the political correct term, but is it handicap, disabled? I'm not sure the correct terminology, so please don't crucify me if I don't phrase things perfectly. But the article I was reading was from someone who has physical limitations on how they play. They can't hold the controller for very long. They can't hold triggers for very long. They have, I think it was muscular dystrophy or something. I don't know all of these things. But again, I'm going to do a full video on that article where I will have the correct terminology and everything when I'm sitting down for that piece. But essentially, the article made me look at the driving assist in this game in a completely new light of going, okay, wow, Forza, this game really has done something special and unique, because it's not just a driving game. It's not just a driving sim. This also has so many more options than other games in terms of how you can modify the controls. It is absolutely ridiculous, the amount of options here, and it's ridiculous in a good way, because it gives everybody a way to fine tune. So one of the things I've done for this video is I want to show you. It's really cool. You can have, there's the global assist preset, which does things like partially assisted, fully assisted, heavy assists, etc. And then you can go down here and customize all this other stuff. So one of the things that's really cool is like the steering option, because fully assisted, you can turn the throttle fully assisted, the steering fully assisted, and the braking fully assisted, and essentially you're just watching it play out as you kind of hold the control and maybe do a slight bit of fine tuning. But the way I've got it set up for this particular video is to show you, because this is great for like just random chatting and making videos without needing to pay attention, is you can have braking on, so it's partially assisting you with the controller. Throttle's unassisted, so I'm 100% in control of that. And then steering, I've got it set to fully assisted to show you guys what this is like. Because if you've watched my first impressions video and the first 2 streams I did where I'm doing all the steering with, I think it was partially assisted on, and I still wreck a lot. Like, I'm not that good at these games. So I prefer when I'm streaming to keep it in partially assisted, which the global assist preset for that is heavy assists. But for the purposes of what I want to show you with this next section of the video is going to be with fully assisted steering turned on, and we're going to start the practice. Now, the reason I say this is because I suck at driving because I'm using a controller. So compared to people who are using like a steering wheel, you're never going to be able to compete with those people. I think. I could be wrong on that. Maybe there may be people who can fine tune their controllers and be super good at it. So in this mode, I just let off the throttle and I'm still controlling the throttle, but it's 100% steering for me. Now, for people with disabilities, hang on. I'm just showing you this, guys. This is amazing. Now, I had to let off the throttle right there. It's not perfect. And where it does have flaws in this mode is when you go to pass someone. And I'll show you here in a second. Because it wants to keep me on the line. It wants to keep me on that line. And it does not like to go off that line. So if I have to try to pass someone, I lose control of the vehicle if you're on a turn like that. This is why it's not perfect. Because it's trying to force itself to that line. So this is the limitation when you're driving with it in this manner. You have to pay attention. We'll resume from here. We'll wait for a straightaway. I had to tap the brakes. See, it's trying to self-correct itself there. I'm having to manually brake here. Or we might be on a straightaway. So it keeps trying to push it back to the left because it's on that automatic driving mode. Well, let's get to a straightaway here. All right, now what I'm going to do here is you can adjust the difficulty mid-race, which is freaking amazing. So multiplayer, by the way, which I don't know if I'll show multiplayer in this video because there's a waiting period because you have to wait to get in, and sometimes the sessions are full and you might miss it. But essentially, I think there's a session every 30 minutes, and there's a queue, and you can join. And if you get in early enough, you'll get a spot. But there's a limited amount of slots. I've done a variety of multiplayer sessions, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. And I will keep fully assisted steering on for a lot of the sections of that because I suck at driving, and a lot of those people are using steering wheels, and so you'll still lose even with assisted driving. I've never gotten the podium. And I've got a lot of getting better at the game. I would, from my personal experience, I would need a steering wheel and full setup if I wanted to try to get first place in the multiplayer. I just don't. I'm not that good at these games. Let's just put it that way. But I do enjoy the multiplayer experience from time to time. But I have left fully assisted on for most of those because it's really difficult and people just ram you off the road and yeah, there's penalties and all sorts of other stuff. But let's go to the heavy assisted mode because I want to show you this is the mode that I will play on most of the time. And it's still quite challenging because you can easily spin off the course and everything else. So let's back out of this. We've changed options mid-race, which I think is just super cool. And we're going to get back into this. Now, I may lose control of this right away because we're just jumping right back in. All right. All right, so now we've got, it's assisted now. So I'm having to do all my own braking, and it is assisted, but it's not perfect. You can oversteer like I just did here. So I just got to level with the car. Hit my bonus for the mission. By the way, you can turn this line off if you don't want to see it. Man, this car is awesome. This is my latest purchase. So you'll notice on the top right, the car is gaining levels as we go, and every time we do a segment of the race, I get scored on how well I did that segment, and that varies the bonus that's applied to my car level. I just got a 5.5 right then and 20 car XP. So the better you do, the more points you earn. So it's one of the reasons that for me, if I'm just leveling up a car, having the steering assist on is really awesome because you're going to get the best segment scores as a general rule, which gives you maximum or at least close to maximum amounts of XP, which helps you level up faster and gets you more car points, which allows you to unlock the mods quicker. So that's just a quick tip if you are interested in just because you got to do 5-6 of these races, and each one of these races, like I'm just doing the practice run right now, which is 3 laps, and you know it's 10 minutes probably. I'm not gonna make you sit through the whole thing, or will I? Oh, let's do it. Oh, I'm coming for you. Sorry. It's a really fun game, guys. I'm gonna make you sit through the whole race. We're gonna do it. Oh, yeah. This is a pretty good course. By the way, I'm doing automatic transmission. I can't be bothered with a manual when I'm playing on a controller. Also, I forgot to say, there are a variety of viewpoints you can choose from. Like, I like the cockpit view, but you can go all these different views. If you want to see your car, you totally can. But I really like the cockpit view. You know, if you want to look behind, look left, look right. Ah! Don't look around because then you go off course. Oh, yeah, I'm off course. Now, I've got penalties turned off, so I didn't get anything for that. But you can obviously turn the penalties on. And that's the end of the practice session. So, I've made you suffer through enough driving. I do want to show one more segment as we get to the... And look at all the cosmetic damages on. When you're playing multiplayer... and the damage is on, like, you have to deal with it. So the level of challenge that you want out of this game, it's easy to achieve. You can either crank it all the way up during single player, or you can get all the challenge you want in the multiplayer and go from there. Now, I'm working on unlocking all of these different races and going through all the different tours right now. It's essentially I'm leveling up different cars. So from this point, I've already done the practice session, and from here we would go straight into the race. Now, it's actually recommending that I crank the difficulty up, because it's like, hey, man, the last few races you've done, you've won first place. You should probably consider cranking the difficulty up so that it's not a cakewalk, which I love this. I love the fact that it recognizes after you've beat something on first place a couple of times, it's like, hey, maybe, have you thought about upping the difficulty? It's pretty good. So here you can actually choose where you want to put yourself. And it's going to give you a recommendation based on your practice runs. You did 2 or 3 practice rounds. It's going to give you a projected finish in the top right based on where you place yourself in the polls. You can only go up to 3, but you can go all the way up to 24. And on the right-hand side, it's adjusting the amount of credits you're going to win based on your grid position and difficulty and rule set. So it's giving you bonuses based on where you choose to put yourself in here, and it's the risk versus reward section of the single player stuff, which is really cool. I don't have a problem starting mid, and I want to show you guys what it's like to start in mid. Actually, yeah, let's start mid. I don't want to start all the way in the back. And I do just want to show this part of the racing off so that you can get an idea of what it's going to be like when you're playing multiplayer. Multiplayer is way more aggressive than this. I have it set on Drivatar level 3. You can go all the way up to 8. By the way, I'm playing on full ray tracing mode, which is 30 frames per second. There's also a mid mode, and there's a performance mode, which is 60 frames at 4K. And then there's a balanced mode, which is ray tracing with a variable resolution. So, but I think it looks great on ray tracing mode at 30 frames per second. I'm on the Series X. It's great. It looks great. It feels great. All the cars are amazing. The sound effects on the headset, like when you're going under tunnels and stuff and when you crunch into another car, the sound design in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Quick commercial break, everyone, to give a shout out to our first official guild officer, Bubalonia, as well as all of the guild champions, and of course, all of the members who help keep me on the air full time. To join as a member, simply click that join button below and pick your tier, but you can also support with SuperChats on any live stream or premiere, or SuperThanks on any upload or YouTube short. Don't forget the Discord. Let's get back to the video. All right, here we go. All right, broke out ahead of the pack. Damn it. And this is where if I had car damage on, I'd be screwed. Again, difficulty level is what you want it to be. Oh, I'm coming for you. You are my personal guardrail. He's just to my left, behind me, isn't he? Alright, we're good. And now from here, it's just a process of chasing down the first and second place dudes and overtaking. Oh, damn it. Alright, here we go. Got you. That was a nice clean pass. And we get to the first place dude. I got 5 laps. I'll get him by lap 2. Here we go. I got it. There we go. And now we cruise control to first place for the rest. Now, I'm not actually going to make you sit through the whole race, everybody, because I'm already 30 minutes in. This was supposed to be a quick review. I think this game is super fun. I like racing games. It's not something I play all the time. I do a lot of RPGs, you know. But just like I'll do MLB, I'll do the NBA games, Madden. I like to play all types of games. And this I feel like Forza Motorsport is a really good game. Now I'm playing it on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, I definitely think you give it a shot. Even if you've traditionally not been good at racing games, but you like them, give this a try because all of the accessibility options that they have here allow you to fine-tune controls even on the controller, which means you can narrow it down and get a really fun playing experience. I've found even in multiplayer, which I traditionally have a hard. I've Gran Turismo. I wanted to play multiplayer so bad, but it was just I was so not good at multiplayer, and I was like, I got to get a steering wheel if I want to do this. And I don't play enough racing games to justify going out and spending $300 to $500 on a steering wheel setup. Just like I don't have a HOTAS setup for flight sims because I don't play that many flight sims. So I think it's a fun game. I think if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, just for sheer enjoyment, I would give it like an 8. And then the fact that it has all of these accessibility options and the performance and the visuals, it's a 10 out of 10 experience for me. This is a great game with lots of different options for lots of different people depending on how you want to play. I haven't really shown you the multiplayer because of like I said, you have to wait in a queue and there's a lot of waiting time and everything else, but the multiplayer is really good here too. It's the same style where you've got a specific car that you have to race in and everybody's racing the same car and you can kind of tune it a little bit, but a lot of the multiplayer, it's driver skill. It's literally just driver skill and you can adjust a lot of different things in there, but it does come down to the driver itself because we're all driving the same cars at that point. But the multiplayer is a lot of fun. The one thing that I found annoying and I turned it off immediately was voice chat is on by default. So the moment you log in with like a headset or something, like everybody's talking in the race, and there is a lot of trash talking. Like within the first 30 seconds of me joining the lobby for the practice session for the first multiplayer race, and all that trash talk was going off in my headset, I immediately was like, mute all. I do not want to hear it. That's not what I'm here for. But if you like the trash talk and you're into that, that option is there. It's just a great game with a lot of fun options for a lot of different people, and everyone can play this game at any difficulty level they want. And I think that's the fun part of it. I think that players who are really good at racing games and have a steering wheel setup and everything else you're gonna be leaps and bounds beyond what guys like me can play at. Like I might be lucky to get 7th to 10th place in a multiplayer race because my limitation, my handicap, is that I'm playing on a controller, and I think that that's fine, But single player, I can always get first because of the difficulty ratings, and that's a fun level. It's a fun variance in difficulty of knowing that if I just want the hamburger fast food McDonald's experience. I can go play the single player and just stream and have fun and just feel like I'm winning. And then if I want to feel challenged and grit my teeth and yell at my fellow man, I can go play multiplayer and have that experience as well. So it's a lot of great options. It's a super fun game. I have nothing bad to say. Love to hear your thoughts if you've tried it yet. And if you have, let me know below. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot if it's on Game Pass and you have Game Pass. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We do lots of different things here on the channel. So check out the streams, check out the Discord, check out the playlist. If you're a member, check out the member videos, and I'll see everybody on the next one. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Happy gaming.